Hi, Molly.
Hi, Jen.
Thank you so much for meeting with me today at your
Yes.
lunchtime, I know.
No, absolutely. Thank you for coming.
And I'm sorry I was not able to be here Friday.
No, that's okay.
I was a bit sick and I did try to, I emailed you, right?
Yeah. No, of course.
Okay. So I wanted to start off by saying I was really impressed when I came in the room today and saw everybody interacting and the kids were in circles. It looked really good.
Good, thank you.
I thought that was great. I copied a couple of things that we went over the last time and everything. This is a copy of the professional development plan, kind of the circuit one. We did the overall plan that we signed, the coaching agreement. And this was what I worked on. Of course, my handwriting isn't the best always in the world, but I did make a copy of this for you for things we talked about. And this was kind of like goals to be worked on. We talked about the environment, maybe labeling and zoning, some of the strengths and the need areas that kind of fit back into that, and some kind of activities and stuff we were going to do with that. So that's your copy. It's an action plan. And I know one of the things that we went over the last time was I was able to give you those pictures. Have you had a chance to put up the pictures? Do you need some help with that?
You know, I think that's going to be our Friday.
Okay.
Because with the, Thanksgiving holiday and everything coming.
That's been crazy.
Yeah, the Fridays have been a little crazy. So I think that's kind of our project this Friday.
Perfect.
Yeah, just to put them up.
Yeah, and just to see how those goes. And I mean, if we need to take some other ones, and I'm interested to see if that helps at all. Helps the kids maybe put away things. Like you said, that was one of your things that you thought about.
Right.
Just maybe having the labels up, maybe you can even have them do a better job independently. So I think would be great. And what was I going to say? So how was the Pyramid Plus?
It was good.
We haven't met since then, have we?
I don't know, have we? I don't think we have.
It's been kind of crazy with being sick.
Yeah, I know. And
holiday.
because that was like right before Thanksgiving, so we definitely have not met. No, yeah, it was good.
Good.
It was really good.
I know there wasn't maybe a lot of new information. There was a couple of new things I heard you and Mariah talking about.
No, and I think we're gonna try the behavior lesson that they showed the video with the stop and go. We're gonna try that one. I don't know. I felt like the first couple of days were maybe not as practical.
Sure.
Applicable things. They were kind of more I don't know, sort of thinking about behavior as a whole. And then I feel like those 3 days were more okay, here are the strategies. Now that you know about behavior, here are the strategies to use. And so I felt like I got a lot of really good sort of strategies from
tools and techniques.
Yeah.
Tools, and we talked about maybe doing the zoning. And I don't know if I was there because I was there those last few years. Did they talk a lot about zoning in there?
Not that I really remember.
Okay. And
they may have.
We'll talk a bit more about that. But I think, I actually went through the book again and found some other really great information on zoning. And that's where I think would be a great thing to start with, working with your staff and getting communication. I know so many people come into your room, maybe, increasing the communication level in your room. So you know what's going on at all the time.
I know, there's so many people in and out of here sometimes.
But you're busy, and I see you servicing all the kids that you can to the best of your ability, and maybe having the other staff members and paras or the other therapists really on board and getting them all really easier for you.
Yeah.
Service the kids better. So I gave you the copy of the professional development plan. I'm trying to look at my other notes now. I go quick before I. We had used the Fidelity tool summary before. This was and I gave you this one before. This was the one that went over the teapot, and this is how we developed and even reviewing this stuff. I remember to make sure. And then today, what I want to talk about a little bit before we kind of go into doing a lesson on zoning is we talked about if we're going to do zoning, implement that in your classroom, we need to have an outcome with it, a measurable goal. So we know that zoning in your classroom has taken effect. And I want to we're talking about this now a little bit. This is called a strategy skill set tool.
Okay.
And we're going to fill this out together, talk about things that we'd like to see and skills that we'd like to see. It might be a little difficult until we go over zoning a little more.
Right, yeah.
But I figured we can start with this and we can add to it. This is going to be like a working document. So the intent of zoning is really to kind of make sure all areas are covered and everyone's communicating.
Right.
So if that's happening in your classroom consistently, what do you think would be a measurable goal that we could implement for other T? I know it's kind of weird.
Well, and so my question also too would be, would the measurable goal be based on then the children's behavior, like how it's impacting their behavior, or would it be a measurable goal about, the adults will, you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
is the outcome sort of related to what the changes in their behaviors, or would it be,
That's a good point.
you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. What I think is that it's almost a two-step process.
Okay.
Once the adults have it under, they have their area or their zone under control, the behavior's going to get better, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's going to be more controlled. But I think it's getting those other people in your room on board and having them able to tell you what's going on. Like, so this is the example that I kind of saw in my head, was that as you have, have the walk center and over here, and you're over here, and you can walk over to Debbie and say, hey Debbie, how is Josh doing on stacking blocks? And she's able to tell you, oh, so she's aware, she's in that area, she's aware what's going on.
Right.
Hey, I'm watching this goal right now, blah, 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 I can tell you, great. And you go to the next person, hey, how are they doing over here? Oh, we're doing good over here, we're Sam just shared with Peter, but Peter needs a model. So
Yeah.
you don't have to do a whole 12 or 16.
Right, yeah, I know, right?
So your parents and maybe other people in the room have a responsibility and are able to report out to you.
Mm-hmm.
So you
okay.
can go around, take notes, you're like, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I think it'll spread the wealth out a little bit. Because
Okay.
you do so much whenever I come in here, and it'll kind of make that, that they're responsible for that zone. And zoning, we'll get to that a little. Zoning can change. Zoning can go from week to week, month to month. It can be once a week, like that week, Debbie's responsible for kids in that area.
Okay.
And so your other parents, your name again?
Taylor.
Responsible for kids in that area. And Jeannie's going to do this. I mean, there's different ways we can set the zoning
Yeah.
up, whatever you think would work best for you. Think of different children that they're assigned to.
Yeah.
I'm going to work with those 4 children.
Yeah, I think it might be better for us to just do it based on kid, but.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But we can see.
We'll talk
yeah.
about that. But
And we may have to try it a couple of different ways to see what works.
I think it'll be interesting to see what works in your room too,
Yeah.
Because it's so funny, I brought the picture, my stuff of your classroom, even though we're in your room. So that's a different way to go about the zoning is really set up. So let's go back for a minute for a measurable goal. So maybe we can do a goal, something like, as Molly walks around the room once a half hour, once an hour even, we can give her once an hour, her staff are able to tell her
Yeah.
where they're on. Do that sound like
Something like that. That makes
does that
sense.
seem reasonable to you?
Yeah.
I mean, it's really good to have them taking responsibility for those, working on those IEP objectives, or whatever the objective is that day. It might not be an IEP objective. It might be something like you want to see your,
Yeah.
friends back and forth talking, or communicating better, or sharing, or whatever that is. So maybe do and typically your classroom runs 2 hours and 40 minutes.
2 hours and 40 minutes, yeah.
So do you want to do once an hour?
Maybe once every half hour.
Okay, let's try it. I mean,
2 hours and 40 minutes is such a short day.
It's bathroom breaks.
Right? It goes so fast.
I would say when, I'll break some, I'm going to do like a practice. When Molly does a circuit of the room,
Circuit.
Engaged staff members are able to tell her where the children
Yeah.
what they're working
You
on
know,
and what
yeah,
they're
what
working.
they're engaged
Because then you can
with.
take a little note,
Mm-hmm.
or they could be taking, however we set this up.
Right.
Like I said, I think this will just help you.
Mm-hmm. Learn to let go a little bit.
Well, and kind of take responsibility.
Relinquish control a little. Never.
Empower your staff.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And-
Absolutely.
And I actually tried it. I tried it last year this way. If you have other ideas, I think we should talk about this. We had students have their goals set up, and on individual sheets of paper, and staff members were responsible for commenting. We didn't say, hey, you need to hear these 5 kids, but if somebody saw something that Doretta went over and checked it.
Yeah.
But if we gave them specific kids they're responsible for that week or 2 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
It'd be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, and how, what kind of information.
Be able to report out on what the children are working on in progress. I think that would be an interesting one.
Yeah.
Okay. So, skill description. What do you think are some kind of things we should see what kind of things do you want to be working on and for you to learn during this period of time? We can go back and say, oh, zoning is taking effect and we are implementing it with fidelity. What kind of things do you think?
Yeah. That's a hard one,
It is, because we aren't there yet, so.
Right.
So I think this is more of a forethought, like, I was trying to think of some different things, like each, maybe to set up a schedule of what, either it's a one-week period, might be short, but maybe like 2 weeks, so like set up a schedule that parents have access to, that they are responsible for these IEP objectives for these 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe like schedule, a written schedule, what they're
Yep.
responsible for.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Written schedule. And we could carry that over into toilet. I mean, the things we can carry that over to, let's try it.
Right, yeah.
And we can tweak this.
Yeah.
This is like a fluid, it might,
Mm-hmm.
and I know you already have certain things, like Debbie does certain things, and
Yeah, and we
Tell-
really, we try to kind of just share the wealth and with toileting and things like that. and
okay.
just,
So we don't have to.
Yeah, I think toileting is probably fine.
Of responsibility for IEP goals. How do you think they're gonna feel about that? Taking that on? I'm just wondering.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll be okay.
Okay.
I think they'll be okay.
I
think once they get used to it, they'll be.
have either one ever done anything like that before? I mean, I don't know what the
I
experience.
don't think so.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
It might be hard for them. Like, we might have to give some, they're going to go through the IEPs. So I would say time to review their goals. I mean, I could even help you with something like I could get some goals so they know what they're working on.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I think you always know, and I always know as a class teacher.
Oh,
but
yeah.
do my parents always know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know, right? Exactly.
So maybe the time to review the IEP objectives. I think even maybe having a little time, and like I said, I loved this, time to ask questions and say, well, how do you want me to meet that goal? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they might not know how to.
They might not. And I think maybe that's where I might have a hard time relinquishing control.
Right.
Is, the training around, how to reach those goals.
Yes. And I don't think that we have to say that, Debbie, you're the one who works on this. I can say,
Oh,
Debbie,
absolutely.
you're working on it, but Debbie can work on it too.
Yes.
And take some of that responsibility
Mhm.
and maybe
Totally.
practice that skill, or maybe when you're not around,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ask questions.
Well, and I think Taylor wants to. She's going to start graduate school for special ed, so I think it'll be
Oh.
good for her to,
That'd be great.
get some. I mean, she's not starting until next fall, but it'll just give her some more experience,
Good. So what I would like to do is, and we can do this the next time too if you want. I know we're running short on time.
I know, always.
Sorry, I know. Oh my God. But is go over with you the official tips for teachers and zoning and preschool stuff, and
Yeah.
then maybe you and I together can review it with your staff.
Sure.
And explain what we're doing, kind of
Uh-huh.
demonstrate it.
Yeah.
And then we'll do some live coaching, which means I come in when the children are in here,
Uh-huh.
and I can work with, we can kind of videotape it and kind of have them work on it and kind of coach as
Mhm.
needed, and then do the
The whole group.
whole group, and,
Yeah.
and during that time that we're going to work with your staff, we'll be doing some modeling with them, and
Mhm.
like we could be in one job thing.
Yeah.
So, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I think that'll work.
So what I'm gonna do is, keep this an open document, I'm gonna get you a copy of this.
Okay.
Scan it, and we're good at scanning everything lately. And kind of get an idea, and we can add to this as we see the need, but, maybe then we can set up a time, I can come back and we can do the official, this tips for teaching kind of thing.
Yeah.
It might not be till after break that we do the training with your
Yeah.
staff, because it's like.
Oh my gosh, I know. I can't believe it's 2 weeks now. I'm like, oh,
I know, I know.
it's crazy.
So maybe even, would it be possible if I came in next Wednesday?
Yeah.
How about the end of the day, would that be okay?
Uh-huh.
I have a dentist appointment.
Oh no.
I'll tell you
Bummer.
that later.
Yeah.
But, that'd be great, and then we can just videotape the one other section
Yeah.
and then talk about, maybe we'll think of some other ideas we can add to our strategy skills.
Cool.
Okay, good.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.